Man, you want to talk about a fall from grace? Look no further than the Golden State Warriors. After making the finals 5 straight seasons, having arguably the greatest team of all time in 2017, and having what is officially, statistically, the greatest record of all time in 2016, and winning 3 championships, this team has missed the playoffs for 2 straight years. Or should I say, is getting ready to, because we just gotta be honest, I don't believe the Warriors are going to make the playoffs this season. They are currently the 10th seed in the Western Conference, and even though it's not impossible for them to catch up, they are 3.5 games back from the Grizzlies with the 8th seed, and 5 games back from the Mavericks with the 7th seed. So they're gonna have to make it in the play-in tournament in order to get in, and I just don't know if they can do it. I don't know if they can outplay the Spurs, and I don't know if they can outplay the Grizzlies, especially considering how many injuries this team has had this season. And because of this fall off, I'm starting to see a take more and more that began when Kevin Durant left about 2 years ago. Is the Warriors dynasty, is their time of contention over, and are they back to just being a regular old team like anybody else waiting to draft their next star? That's the question I want to answer for you today, so I'm going to get right into it, guys, alright? Looking at this team, the Warriors this season have been not exactly great. They're currently 25-28 with a losing record, and like I said, 10th in the Western Conference. Their defense has been surprisingly good at 8th best in the NBA, but their offense, despite having Steph Curry on the team, only ranks 21st, which is not very good and leads to an overall net rating of negative 1.7, aka the 22nd net rating in the NBA. Not exactly what you'd expect from a team with Steph Curry on the floor. And to be fair, Steph Curry has been a beast this season. I've seen some people try to place the blame on Steph. You're absolutely out of your mind if you're going to try to do that. The man is averaging 36-6 on 50% shooting, 41% from 3, and 92% from the free throw line. I'm sorry, he's only averaging 49% shooting, so not a 50-40-90 season, but incredibly close to it. Steph Curry is absolutely balling this year. You are out of your mind if you're going to try to blame the Warriors' struggles on him. And if you need more evidence than that, look at the on-off numbers. I said the Warriors are currently 21st or 22nd in offensive rating. Yes, 21st in offensive rating. When Steph Curry is on the floor, they're not just the worst offense in the league, they're one of the worst offenses in league history. It's insane how much impact he brings to this team. They might be the worst team in the entire NBA when he's off the floor. Steph Curry has been phenomenal, and they would probably be the 8th seed in the playoff race, in my opinion, if Steph Curry hadn't missed any games. He's missed about 10 games this season, and every game he misses, the Warriors just look so freaking bad. It's just the difference between having a superstar on the floor or off the floor. You see it now with the Lakers when LeBron James misses times. You know, it's just how it is. Teams are not as good without their stars, especially a team like this that just isn't that good overall. Now, the one thing with the Warriors this year has been their defense. Their defense has been real solid. Part of that is Draymond Green getting back into form. He's been pretty nice. James Wiseman has been a little bit better than expected on defense, I believe. He's been pretty solid, even though he has also missed time. Kelly Oubre is a solid switchable defender, and Andrew Wiggins has really shocked me. He's really the player who stood out. I would say he's been pretty easily the second best defender on the team, arguably even better than Draymond. He's been fantastic after his entire career. People saying he's lazy on defense, he really has gotten it together this season. There were talks earlier in the season that he might be even an all-defense player. I think that's fallen off a little bit. I don't know if he's quite that good, like that might be stretching it just a little too much, but Andrew Wiggins really has been a phenomenal defender this season. Kelly Oubre's been kind of terrible, frankly. He's insanely inefficient. He doesn't turn the ball over a lot, actually. I was about to say he does. He does not turn the ball over a lot. But he's insanely inefficient. He's not the player they hoped he would be. He's just not. He's not that good on offense. He cannot replace Klay Thompson. And that's the big point with this team that we're going to get to in a minute. People seem to forget how good Klay Thompson is. And we're going to get into that, but just keep that in mind, okay? When we're talking about how bad this team is, remember, they're missing their second best player. Yes, Klay Thompson's better than Draymond Green. I know people have been saying Draymond Green's underrated, but at this point, I don't think it's even close. Klay Thompson is a better player. Now, Andrew Wiggins, having arguably the best season of his career as a secondary offensive option. Like I said, great on defense. He's doing a decent amount, like he's playmaking a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? He's a little more efficient. 38% from 3 on 5 attempts is great. Not as good as Steph Curry's 41% from 3 on 12 attempts, but you know, we can't all be Steph Curry. Draymond Green having a little bit of a bounce back year, averaging 8 assists a game with only 4 turnovers, along with 6 rebounds and 2 steals. Draymond Green is balling on the defensive end and the playmaking end, not exactly in the scoring department where he is even less efficient than Kelly Oubre. And you wonder why this team's offense is not very good? These two guys are why. Kelly Oubre and Draymond Green are arguably the third and fourth, and at the very least fourth and fifth best offensive players on the team, depending on how high you are on Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole's been solid, don't get me wrong, but then when you put him in the game, all of a sudden you're losing defense because he's a tiny little guard who doesn't play any defense. You just don't have a good team here, and you start to look at the bench, it becomes sus real quick once you go past Jordan Poole. You're talking guys like Damian Lee, who, you know, he's okay, but like he should be like the 8th or 9th player on the bench instead of the second off the bench. Juan Toscano Anderson, never heard of him. Eric Pascal's fine, but like he's a very weird player. He's not a very good offensive player, and I really don't know what his role is. I don't think he has a good one on this team. And then guys like Kent Bazemore and Brad Wanamaker. This team has a terrible bench. And the starting 5, once again, solid on defense, is just terrible on offense. James Wiseman has been up and down this year. Sometimes he looks like a really good player. Even on both ends, he looks really good. And then some nights he looks lost. The man's a rookie. We're going to have to give him time. And he's missed games, too, which is also hurting his, abilities. So we're going to have to see with James Wiseman. But so far, it's really been the Steph Curry carry job this season and the Andrew Wiggins revitalization year. That's all this team has been. And so people are acting like this is it. This is the team's ceiling with Steph Curry. They're never going to be better than this. He can't carry this offense. He doesn't have Kevin Durant, yada, yada, yada. You people do not, and, obviously, like most of you viewers probably aren't these people, but the people out there who are like this, you really don't remember how good Klay Thompson is. And this is coming from me, someone who has been continuously told throughout the last couple years that I underrate Klay Thompson because I, haven't confidently said that he's, the second best shooting guard in the league behind James Harden the last several years. I thought that, Jimmy Butler was better than him for a while. I would have thought Bradley Beal was ahead of him for a little bit, maybe even like a Devin Booker type. Klay Thompson's iffy for me, but the dude is still a legit star. He's one of the most consistent players in the entire NBA. You start with 2014. Since 2014, okay, back before the Warriors were a super team, before they were even a finals team, Klay Thompson has consistently been averaging 18 to 22 points a game on 40 to 44% shooting from 3 on about 7 to 8 attempts a game. This dude has a very simple skill. He catches threes, and he makes threes, but he's the second greatest shooter in NBA history, and also a very solid defender, not to mention he's usually the second best defender on this team that's generally been a solid defensive team. Klay Thompson is a very, very, very good role player, the best role player in the NBA. He is an all-star role player, in fact, which is a weird thing to say, but that's what he is, because I would call him a role player, because he's got a very simple role. But my goodness, does he do it perfectly. Klay Thompson is a fantastic player, and missing him is huge for the Warriors. Yeah, they're only the 21st offense this year, but when you throw Klay Thompson into there instead of Kelly Oubre, this could be a top 10 offense once again next season when Klay Thompson comes back. He really does have that much impact. He was the second best player, offensively anyway, on the greatest offense in NBA history back in 2016, or what used to be the greatest offense, I should say. Klay Thompson's impact cannot be undersold. And so you look at next season, you've got a starting 5 of Curry, Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, who's now pretty dang good, Draymond Green, and James Wiseman, who's hopefully finally healthy, and has another year of experience under his belt. That is a fantastic starting five there. James Wiseman can kind of shoot, so you've got 5 players who can at least kind of space the floor. That's a very good defense with Thompson, Wiggins, and Green. That's insane switchability right there, and James Wiseman's been a little bit better than predicted as a rookie on defense, so that's nice. Off the bench, it's still really sus. I don't know if you can get a championship contending bench out of this group, okay? Eric Pascal and Jordan Poole are the main guys, but with I'm forgetting his name right now, Kelly Oubre, I almost called him Kelly Olynyk. With Kelly Oubre leaving, that's a $15 million gap in your lineup that you can fill with a free agent. Now, I don't know who that's going to be, but lots of people want to play for the Golden State Warriors and play with Steph Curry and a bunch of champions. So I'm sure they can get some solid bench depth next year. Maybe not championship level, but this is absolutely a very good playoff team next season, in my opinion. And I think if you're counting out the Warriors already, if you were already saying that Steph Curry's days, Steph Curry, the second best point guard of all time, you think that his days of contending are over? I really think you're underrating him. I think you're underrating his team. And I think you have given up on the Golden State Warriors a few years too soon.